As a critic, I often have to face the fact that this is a particularly difficult and insecure career path. I first garnered interest in the field with games in my senior year of high school. I've attended a university with the intention of getting a bachelor's in writing arts. My disdain for the program led me to drop out. In that time, I've written numerous pieces on personal blogs and for more organized sites such as the now defunct Plus 10 Damage and most notably Indie Haven, all the while trying to nab paid work at the likes of IGN, Destructoid, Kotaku, and so on. To no avail, dedicated gaming sites are closing up. One-Up, Joystick, Game Trailers. Some have undergone so many fundamental changes that their talent pools have left for greener pastures, i.e. The Escapist and GameSpot. Vacancies at the more enticing sites or new startups are often filled by familiar names. Suffices to say, the field is evolving and shrinking. I still send freelance pitches. I still write on pretty much a daily basis. I'm committed to it. I'm obsessive. Baby Steps, the story of Eiichiro Maruo, is all about chasing that difficult dream, about being a workaholic, about not going after the easy or simple, comfortable life so many accept as their own. At the start of Baby Steps, Eiichiro has set course for that safe life. He's studious, responsible, and at the top of his class. By chance, he decides to answer a flyer for tennis lessons, figuring he could use some physical activity in his life. To his surprise, he runs into a girl from his grade he loaned notes to earlier. The club she just happens to attend and that Eiichiro has somewhat unwittingly stumbled into is STC, a major tennis camp with young talent looking to go pro. What starts as a bit of exercise turns into an obsession. His notebooks go from filled with mathematical formulas and dates in history to detailed documentation of every hit in a rally. Every bit of information about his skills and that of his opponents. The coaches start to take notice of his potential, and Eiichiro begins to rapidly improve. It's in episode 17 that Eiichiro broaches the topic of going pro to his parents. He states it's a hypothetical, despite internally knowing that's not really the case. They laugh it off, he joins in, reiterating it was just a hypothetical. Shortly after he and that aforementioned girl, Natsuki, attend the Japanese Open to watch her childhood friend Ike Soji make his professional debut. Eiichiro is completely enamored with Ike's performance, realizing this is a 17-year-old whose every action is in service to be a professional tennis player, that Ike's life is tennis, a true workaholic. Eiichiro is now just beginning to fully recognize it, but he's already been on that path to becoming professional through his diligent note-taking and perfectionist attitude. So Eiichiro approaches the subject of going pro once more to his parents, with the typical note-wielding, industrious style he has taken to tennis. With a more severe tone than the last, his mother straight up tells Eiichiro no, that he needs to focus on school, on getting into a good college, then presumably a safe, stable office job with a decent salary, remarking that becoming a pro has to be incredibly difficult, implying Eiichiro doesn't have what it takes. She does back down after Eiichiro keeps arguing and his father takes his side, begrudgingly agreeing to give him a year of focusing strictly on tennis, though after she says to her husband that she only agreed because trying to force Eiichiro to study would just result in him not actually being committed to it, that when he fails to meet his timeline on going pro, he'll give up and get back to studying, in turn saying his dreams need to be crushed to have a more realistic life view. Now, I understand that his mother is just being incredibly concerned for his well-being, but that life view just doesn't jive with me. After graduating high school in 2010, my group of friends had become incredibly tight-knit. Then in October, my friend Sean was in a fatal car accident. I have this thought that I always go back to from the show Band of Brothers regarding Sean's death. There's a common feeling among those who went to war at a young age, that they were invincible. Then they'd experience the death of a comrade and that invincibility would evaporate. That's what it felt like to lose a friend at the age of 18 in such a sudden fashion. Only months after the freedom of true adulthood set in, to realize that we are truly fragile beings and that you shouldn't take your life or the life of another for granted. Then, as if to reassure my friends and I of life's fleeting nature, in December of 2012, my friend Carl was diagnosed with cancer. We had both recently been accepted to Rowan University and planned to move on campus that coming semester. That never happened. Carl's health prevented him from attending, and in May he succumbed to the disease. Because of Sean and Carl, the view that Eiichiro's mother holds is more than merely disagreeable to me. It goes against my fundamental beliefs. We are here on Earth for a finite amount of time. I don't want that safe life. I'd rather fail miserably trying to make a career of what I'm doing right here than accept a life so many lead. It hasn't been easy. Fuck has it not been. Plus 10 was where I really began to fully pursue a career. It was a great site and a lot of fun, but getting a small publication off the ground is incredibly difficult. I thought Indie Haven would be my first significant break. After all, it was founded by the rapidly rising Laura Kate Dale, who works with one of my biggest inspirations, Jim Sterling, and her work can be found all over from IGN, Destructoid, Eurogamer, and numerous other places. And many Indie Haven writers, past and present, have had their bylines appear on countless noteworthy publications, both digital and print. That's not how things worked out. The 3 months I worked there, I was having a horrid time writing, or even caring about it. So I decided the best course of action was to thank them for the opportunity and take my leave. All the while, I've been pitching and applying to big sites, probably a good 3 dozen or more times. Most give no response. If I'm lucky, I'll get a "sorry, we're not interested in freelance work at the moment," or a more detailed answer as to why my pitch is either not a good fit or they're already planning to publish something similar. It would be really easy to give up, to just keep working shitty jobs like I currently am, or go back to college and get that overpriced and unedifying writing arts degree and work some job I'd fall into a mildly comfortable cycle of repetition like so many others. But I know I wouldn't be happy. And why in the hell would I accept a life I don't desire after learning so tragically of how temporary we are? In some manner, I feel like I would be betraying myself and betraying the unfortunate lesson that Sean and Carl taught me in their passings. Achan's tenacity for becoming a professional has that same fire. That tennis is his life. It's fitting that pretty much every second of the show after he discovers tennis is in one way or another about his growing passion. It sends the message that obsession isn't inherently unhealthy, that it's the true peak of dedication. I admire that, because in the past few months I've been getting into a spree of creativity. The goals I've set on the amount of work I want to publish in a month, written or video, has been surpassed. I have a game plan on how to turn this into a paying career. Being obsessive about your passions is healthy. Being a workaholic about what you love to do is also healthy. 2 of my biggest creative influences the last few years have been musician Max Bemis and YouTuber Digibro. Bemis seemingly only takes breaks from his main band Say Anything to write comics for Marvel or create music for the other band he has with his wife or the band he has with his music idol. Digibro's prolific approach to YouTube has produced countless hours of content ranging from anime discussion to random drunken tirades about anything and everything. I admire them because, like Achan, they have that special drive which propels them beyond an ordinary life. Baby Steps does such a tremendous job of building up this passion. Achan doesn't win right out of the gate. Hell, he can't even race an elementary schooler without passing out. But that fleeting spark he feels when he first hits the tennis ball just right, how it fuels him down this road to the point where he desperately analyzes his form via videos and fastidious note-taking, through repetition where his muscle memory isn't just a figure of speech. When the fruits of his labor start blooming, he begins competing and surpassing top-seeded players. He beats them because he let that crazed passion take him over and hurl him towards his dreams. Baby Steps speaks to this idea that the people who chase their dreams are workaholics, that it isn't something they think about from 9 to 5, that especially in competitive fields, sports or not, the people who succeed are the ones who seem like dreamers to the outsiders, who never stop working at what they love. This isn't to say you shouldn't take breaks when needed. I covered such in my Bakuman video, but that the terms obsessive and workaholic shouldn't take on a wholly negative connotation when talking about your passions. That it's okay to look crazy sometimes. You can damn well bet any of the people you admire, whether they be musicians, writers, teachers, actors, or politicians, they're obsessive about those aspects of their lives. They've gotten good because of that fire. Sacrifices of what is deemed normal is necessary for Achan to succeed. During the school festival in the first season, he's busy training and can't help plan or set up. He misses out on that part of idyllic high school life. His coaches teach him that the brief moments away from the daily rigors of trying to go pro are important, but when it comes down to it, Achan spends an enormous amount of time training. That's what exceptional talent does. Baby Steps may not be the best anime. It's not even the first to handle the idea of working hard towards your goals, but it does it in a way that I uniquely relate to my own life experiences. The feeling of not knowing if you're good enough, but wanting to pour your everything into your passions. Not wanting to break momentum for fear of hitting a roadblock and failing. There's a line in season 1 where shortly after Achan openly admits his intent to go pro and the head coach at STC, Miura, is working him like a dog. Achan complains about the tremendous amount of stress on his body, that it's like his muscles are no longer listening to his brain. Miura responds by saying, "You'll have to make your body listen to you. Teach it that its purpose is to play tennis." I firmly believe we all have that potential for such. That my purpose is to write and analyze art, and that my body, brain, muscles, skin, fingers, eyes, and all else are tools for doing so. That having such a mental strength is indispensable in life. That I will continue to work towards my dreams in an uncompromising fashion. As always, like, subscribe, all that nonsense. It is very much appreciated. I do try to get out a video a week. Don't hold me to it though, I'm not a professional. Be sure to watch all my other shit. It's not that terrible, and it'll help me not be entirely poor. Hopefully.